Starting in just 2 minutes. We'll just be starting in 1 or 2 minutes. Just go ahead and take down this information. Hello, everybody. Make sure you write who is next after me at 12:30 Pacific Time, 3:30 Eastern Time. Thank you. I had to cover up my, oops, I didn't cover it up real well here. My postal box that's got my paper stuck to it. So we'll flip it over in just a minute. Just give everybody a couple minutes to kind of get in. I have 30 minutes, so plenty of time. This is Tammy Duncan with Epiphany Healing Arts. While we wait for a few more people to show up, let's just take a few nice deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. And let's just focus on raising our vibration to a space where we can learn and allow and accept and love, because ultimately that is what becoming a generator of unconditional love is all about. Getting to that vibrational space. So if you can, please hit the little person button and then hit the share button and share with your followers. That would be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. The more people that we can reach with these, thank you Tina Jen for inviting your followers, and she's up next, by the way. The more that we can share the information, it's like good news, you know, that we can raise our vibration to this higher vibrational space where we can come to a place where we don't necessarily need to see things in the same way that we do already. We're able to, I don't know where everyone went. We're able to, I guess, emit our own signature frequency out into the world. And when that is unconditional love mixed with your own unique vibration, it's amazing. So let me flip the camera, and I'll come back to this at the end so that you guys can take it down if you want to. So let me... So I'm not attempting to, hi Jenna, I'm not attempting to rub it in, but I'm in sunny Southern California right now, and it's probably the high 70s, so sending you warmth and love to all of the East Coast and Midwest. That is not as warm as it is here. In fact, just 3 days ago I got back from hosting a retreat in Florida. We were in St. Augustine, Florida, very beautiful, but it was cold. And just like almost every retreat that I run, rain seems to come. And I've learned that what it really is about is creating a group energy with the retreat participants. Because when we are not able to just go and walk on the beach and go outside and explore, we end up in this sort of group vortex in our retreat area, which we rented a huge beach house in St. Augustine. It was gorgeous. And what happened was, for the second time, because it happened the first time with the same group, we formed deep, amazing bonds. And we were calling ourselves a tribe before, but now it's like, no, we're a pod, like a pod of dolphins, because we were touched by the nature as well. So it would rain, it would get cold, it would then it would just be this beautiful sunny day, and we'd be able to go out and play and be in joy and romp around and all of that. And in the end day, we all came out deeply bonded. So it's become one of my very favorite things to do, which is to run retreats. But so then I come home to Southern California. I left there 55 degrees in St. Augustine on Wednesday and come home to California, and it was like 86, 87 degrees. So anyways, so I thought it would be nice to do the broadcast outside. And plus, right behind me, if you can see, is my labyrinth. And my labyrinth there is extremely high vibe. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. And I've talked about that before. You can look at my YouTube channel, Epiphany Healing Arts, and watch some videos about the labyrinth. But today's topic is becoming a generator of unconditional love. And just real quick, I want to give just a quickie little background about me in case you don't know. We did a little holistic summit a couple weeks ago, and we talked about ourselves. But I see a lot of new people that weren't on that, and so I just want to give you like just a little quick snippet. Sorry, I broke my finger 2 days ago too. Just a little hairline. But anyways, so my history comes from the Lyme disease community and the autism community, because my son was diagnosed with autism, and then I was diagnosed with Lyme disease amidst that whole journey. And long story short, I'm totally shortening it. And yes, somebody mentioned about the book, my book, Vibrational Healing for Autism, aka Awesome Kids, talks about my story and Michael's story, my son, and also much more than that. But that's the preface. And anyways, it was through that journey of illness. I call it like the wounded healer archetype, because through being wounded and being in this sense of like, I guess, suffering, and I don't even like to talk about that, but allowed me actually as an adult to feel what it felt like to be in a body that's diagnosed with autism, because I had some of the very same symptoms that some of the severe kids were experiencing. Not all of them, but some of them. Hi. Things like intense sensitivity to light and sound, loss of speech. Not that I couldn't think of what I wanted to say, it's just that there was something going on, like my vocal cords were like partially paralyzed. They said it looked like Bell's palsy of the vocal cords, and so I couldn't get the words out. And intense headaches, intense pain, and certain things, whatever. So that's all that old stuff. But the journey there of that brought me towards a more holistic lifestyle. And more than just the holistic lifestyle, because I'm vegan, gluten-free, eat organic as I possibly can get, while still loving to go out to eat. I mean, I'm not going to lie. And hi, everybody. But more holistic than booming into my spiritual path. And as I boomed into my spiritual path, it's like these gifts that I don't remember having. I kind of remember having some when I was younger, but they just began to just completely blossom out into the world. And I don't like to even label my gifts. You know, someone's like, oh, you're psychic. Well, yeah, I have that, but I don't call myself a psychic. Oh, you're a medium. Yeah, I could do that, but I don't call myself a medium. Like, I don't really care about that. Yeah, you know what? If you're gonna like cuss on here, you can like exit out, because I don't appreciate that while I'm trying to talk, dude. Okay, so anyways, all right, hang on 1 second. I'm gonna block this guy because that's not cool. I hope I can do that from here. So you guys need to give me a minute because we have a foul user on here, and I usually don't read it, but since he's like cussing to one of the other people watching, like, I think that's like really not cool. So you can either listen, dude, and you can raise your vibe, or you can just log off. So I don't know how to do it. Anyways, yeah, back at you, buddy. So anyways, so through that journey, we were now you guys are making me laugh. I'm so sorry. So it's just like ridiculous, right? Okay. Okay. We totally raised the vibe. Yeah, when you raise your vibe, like the light shines, right?
And then you get like some of the like, you know, people that need a little work on their vibe to come and, you know, they're attracted to that, right? So just, whew. And now I forgot what I was talking about. Okay, anyways, so the journey, like, plummeted my spiritual journey and all of that, and all of these gifts I didn't even know I had. Anywho, so it's brought me to this point. So I worked with the children diagnosed with autism for years, and the families and the moms, and they are a special heart, hold special place in my heart, because I was one of them too. My son Michael's basically recovered at this point. He's, you know, doing college and getting A's, and, you know, still learning to drive, you know, but we've come through. But what I learned was that when I tuned in and really communicated with the kids, and I call the kids, meaning children diagnosed with autism, that's what I call the kids. When I really tuned in and began to learn from them, their ultimate message was a message of unconditional love. And them not wanting to be fixed, not wanting, yes, that doesn't mean they don't want healing in their bodies and to feel good, but to feel like there's something wrong with them, or that they're less than, or that they're injured, or that they're suffering, or something like that. They show us a bigger message than that. And when the moms turn into this warrior mom energy, they're focusing only on that, like, suffering in that battle, and it's very difficult to switch into this space of unconditional love and acceptance. And what many people that communicate with the kids have found, hi Carrie, is that when you can bring yourself to a state of unconditional love, it is a vibration that you emit out into the world, that the kids can now feel comfortable around you. It's now safe to look at you in the eyes, because your eyes are no longer filled with anger and hatred and worry. You're in a state of acceptance and knowing that everything is as it should be. And so when the kids feel this vibration coming off of you, it allows them to feel more comfortable, at least around you and in the home. They may still do some, you know, things like around other people, but ultimately that message is to spread. So, so that's why we need to learn how we can become this generator of unconditional love, not just for the kids. Yes, that's a big thing, but for everybody, even the FU guy that that was on a little bit earlier, making his little trolley comments. I think he's the one that called me a MILF the last time. Whatever. But when we raise our vibration, then we can laugh about it. We don't need to, like, get all mad. Oh my God, did you see what that guy posted? And get all in a Twitter. We can keep a positive space. So I learned what the steps are from my journey with the kids, but also when I began to let go. When I began to let go of me thinking that life needed to be this, and this. When I began to let go of the plan for things. When I began to just get up in the morning, not knowing what I was going to be doing per se. Yes, I had things I had to do, getting kids places, eating, feeding, all of those things. But other than that, this sort of flow of life, and just allowing me, like, I feel like I'm going to go walk the labyrinth. It feels like that's what I need to do. So when I came to that state, then the answers were poured into me. And it has to do for women and men about really accessing the divine feminine side of them. We all have a masculine and we all have a feminine side. And up until, most recently, well, this world is still pretty dominated by the masculine side of the energy of us. And then there's some that are too much in the feminine. But what was doing is they call the rise of the divine feminine. But what I see it of is more of a balancing of the masculine and the feminine. So I began to learn about that and what that meant. And in that poured out the vision of building the labyrinth behind me, and the symbolism of the labyrinth. And inside the labyrinth are 6 petals design. It's a chartreuse design, and each petal represents basically one aspect or one lesson or characteristic of things that we need to work on, always in motion working on. I don't want to say master, because it's always a movement and a motion towards learning more and more about each thing. But as we do this, we get closer and closer to this space of true unconditional love. So the first thing is faith. And faith in just this understanding that all is as it should be, that there is a divine plan and there is divine timing, and we don't always need to know. We don't get to know what it is. We're not allowed to know sometimes. Sometimes we just have to be in the allowance of allowing it to show up, and knowing that our angels will come, our earth angels will come. Maybe it's an email or a message or something will come to us to bring us what we need at the time. So if we have faith, just know. Like, for example, when we were on the retreat last week in Florida, one of our little excursions was to go on this little boat ride and hopefully see the dolphins, and also like other, birds and things like that too. Well, I really felt like we were going to see the dolphins, but it was getting down to it where we hadn't seen them. No sign of the dolphins anywhere, and I'm looking at the clock going, gosh, we have like 10 minutes left. So I just kind of tuned into it, and I heard, just believe. So I really tried to hold this space of just believing. They're there, and we're going to see them because we're supposed to see them. It felt so strong. Time was running out. He was aiming straight to the dock. All of a sudden, 2 of the girls pop up. There they are! And there they were. There were the 2 dolphins there, and we tuned into them. So when you're in a space of faith, then it's okay. You just allow everything to come at the timing that it's supposed to, not feeling like you always have to be the one. You have to make it, and you have to know it, and you have to create it, decide it, plan it, it's the old way of like making a list. Here are my goals. This is how I'm going to accomplish it. Well, that's how holds its purpose. But there is also a purpose in just knowing that even if we didn't see the dolphins, that was what was supposed to happen, and there was going to be a really good reason why we didn't. It wasn't our time. So faith, that's the first thing. So what I ask you to do is each day check in with yourself. Where am I with faith in my life? Am I trying to control things and grasp onto it? Or am I allowed to just know that it's all taken care of? Everything. Everything has a purpose. Okay, so the second thing is to surrender. Whoa, this can be really hard sometimes, can it? To surrender. That is, again, are we just trying to control everything? Do we have to know everything, right? Or can we just let it go? Let it go. Number 1, faith. Number 2, surrender. Yeah, let go and let God. Exactly. That's exactly when I'm walking the labyrinth, when I'm trying to make sense of things in my life and trying to know what's going to happen, just to let that go. Just like a feather that you just let go into the breeze. You know that feather's going to get where it needs to go. So, so there's surrender. Let me see what else I want to say about surrender. When you surrender, you can really touch this space of divinity. This beautiful space where you know that you can be in your knowing, but it's okay not to know. So surrender. Okay, so the next thing is abundance. And I didn't block anybody. I couldn't find the button when I was doing it. Somebody asked if I blocked everybody, but I didn't. I couldn't find it. It was too stressful to try to find the button when I was talking. So the next thing, number 3, is abundance. So we always think of abundance like money coming to us, but really it's our ability to receive. Are we able to receive unconditional love from other people? Can we even just receive a compliment? Can we receive somebody just treating us to something? You know, like, oh, I'm going to buy you dinner. Are we allowed? Are we allowing? Are we allowing things to come to us? Are we allowing ourselves to receive love? Or do we have a block? Have we had such trauma and hurt in our lives that we put a wall up around our heart? When we put a wall up, then we are really unable to give and receive. So some of us have like a little wall, and we kind of can give it and receive sometimes. So we have to work on those walls and that block that we put up sometimes. It says, don't see me, don't look at me, it's too hard. And many times that tracks back to trauma, shame, abuse, hurt, heartache, all of that, being rejection, things like that. So when we have that wall up, it also affects our ability to receive everything, from money to clients, to hits, to hearts, to love, to everything that we would possibly want to receive. So if you're in a space of why can't I ever accomplish this, or why can't I accomplish that, you might look to see, but do you have this thing up preventing you from receiving the good things, the good stuff? Or are you receiving so much that it's becoming out of balance in the next thing, number 4, which is service? So service, we think of, okay, so like charity, like we're going out in the world and doing things, and that's service too. But I also view this also as then in the giving. So we had abundance, which is like the receiving, and now we have service, which is like the giving. So are we receiving more than we're giving, or are we giving more than we're receiving? Doreen Virtue, she has a great angel card that says service, and it says, when you get nervous, focus on service. And I love that one. And I found that that's a great solution for anxiety. So if you're like, I don't know what's going to happen, I'm not sure of this or that, then if you get into a space of giving, whether it just be giving a compliment or giving a kind word, or giving a funny joke to somebody. My friend Kim was sending me funny jokes when we were on the really funny, dirty stuff, which we have a little bit twisted sense of humor, the two of us. I was on the retreat, that was really shaking up the energy for me. Like, once I got too serious about my own self, trying to make sure everything's going the way it's supposed to, she'd send me some really dirty joke, and I'd be like, ah, and realize that, like, girl, your shit stinks too. And then I'd come back to grounding and be able to, like, totally flow with the group. So she provided me a service. So it's funny. So we can provide service in many, many ways for people, and it could just be those funny things. Another thing that we did on the retreat was we had blessing jars. And it was like, this is not it, because this is my drink, but we took like little mason jars, and then we decorated them. And then we had little notes, and then we would write notes for each other through the whole 5-day retreat. And then, hi Hunter. And then we came home all with this jar of blessings from each other. And these are things that we can do every day with our friends and family. Just give them some kind of blessing. And the other part of service too is giving without expectation. So when we did the blessing jars, we didn't give because she gave me one, now I'm going to give her one. It wasn't like that. It's more of just the giving just because you want to touch the person's heart. You want them to come home and then read that note so that when they are maybe having a tough time, they can feel that love from you even when you're not there. Hey, Mal. And so that's what service is about, giving without expectation of anything back for yourself. So it's really, really beautiful. So it just teeter-totters and goes hand in hand with abundance and service, the receiving and the giving. And however you feel called and bubbled up to serve or to give, that's what you should do. Whether it just be, there are people that I believe it is their sole purpose just to smile in this world. And maybe you've met them before. Maybe they've worked the drive-thru. Sometimes I see them at Chipotle, quite frankly. Not always. There's a guy that's kind of stingy on the rice at mine. But I have seen them at certain Chipotles where they just emanate this smile, and you just feel like you have met somebody that part of their gift to this world is their smile and their positive energy, even though they are doing kind of a menial job. It doesn't have to be your job of what your service is. It could be a smile. It could just be being a hugger. There's a guy at the Ojai in California farmer's market that wears a Free Hugs t-shirt. I couldn't help myself. I had to go hug him and everything else. And that's a service because he's putting that love out there. What we're doing here is a service too, because we're putting out information for free that anybody can join and listen to and all of that. And so that's part of service. All right, the next one, number 5, my broken hand. Number 5 is forgiveness. Forgiveness. We all know that when we hold on to stuff, we have resentment or we have things that have happened in our lives that we haven't let go of, we know we're supposed to forgive. Oh, I better hustle. I got 5 minutes. We know we're supposed to forgive. But there's one person that we sometimes forget to forgive, and that's ourselves. Because the act of forgiving somebody, it's like, okay, I can forgive you. I'm not going to forget what you did, but I can forgive you. But sometimes we have held on to it for so long that it has infested and eaten us up inside. And we also then need to turn straight around and forgive ourselves and bless ourselves. Because we may have felt like that's all that we could do at the time. In fact, you can ask, have I done all I can do for today? Do I need to forgive myself, forgive the universe, because other people come into play with the things that happen in our lives? So forgiveness is really a key thing. And for me, you've truly forgiven the person and yourself when you think about the situation and it has no charge. Meaning, it doesn't stir you. It doesn't get you mad. You don't get, annoyed, or you don't start crying. That situation, however traumatic it was, just turns into, yeah, that happened. So you have no emotional charge for it. Your mind, your anxiety, nothing happens. Only then do you know that you've truly forgiven the person, the situation, the universe, and yourself for whatever it was that happened. So this is how you're going to check that and feel that. And you can get to that space, absolutely. The very last thing, number 6, is strength. And this is, how strong are you? Are you taking responsibility for your actions, for your vibration, for your energy field, for what you're putting out into the world? Are you still doing victim programs? Is it everybody else's fault, whatever situation you're in? Or are you taking your responsibility for it? Even if it's at the soul level, that you know that you wouldn't have chosen this, but you know that your soul did. Can you take the responsibility for your soul's choices as well as your 3-dimensional choices as well? When I really step into that feeling of strength, when I'm walking that labyrinth, I feel 20 feet tall. It's like boom. And for a woman, that is that divine feminine rising within you that tells you that I can be intuitive, I can be beautiful, I can be sexy, I can be soft, I can be gentle, but I can be strong and warrior and tough too. And that's what strength is, being all of that. So checking in with yourself there. Then once you make some kind of daily practice to check in on how you're doing on all of these different aspects, you have freed yourself up to become not just a receiver, but a generator of unconditional love out into the world. Why? Because you understand the bigger picture. You're not in any kind of victim programs. You're not holding any patterns. You're able to release and let go and surrender. You are able to receive from others. You're able to freely give to others and the universe. And you're able to forgive yourself and everybody else while being in your divine, feminine, balanced with your sacred masculine, beautiful, strong self, goddesses that we are. And that is how we become generators of unconditional love, which means that we love no matter what. We love no matter what they do. And when you are truly in a state of unconditional love and able to do that, then no matter what that person does, you can touch the divine of their soul by tuning into them. You can see their light that they emit. Even in the darkest of times, you can see the light within them. And that is when you know that you are vibrating at that state of unconditional love. And that unconditional love becomes part of your signature vibration. All right, you guys. Now, go to the next one. My next girl that is right after me. I love you guys. I am attempting to flip the... Tina Jen 87118774. Click on that. And then please go to my website, epiphanyhealingarts.com, and check out what I'm up to. All right. Love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.